but more important, that being an introvert actually makes me a better public speaker because I don't like holding court. I like talking to an individual. And so when I'm on a stage, I look at one person in the eye and I give them an entire sentence or an entire thought. And then I'll go to somebody else and I'll give them an entire sentence or an entire thought. And I just make sure to do something called painting the edges, which is I make sure that I'll get somebody in the upper left, the lower left, the upper right, the lower right, the back middle, the front middle, not necessarily in an order, but I just make sure to make eye contact with somebody in each area of the audience. And I haven't, like I said, and by the way, it works in meetings too. If you're sitting in a meeting with half a dozen people, a dozen people, and you're telling them whatever it is you're telling them, look somebody in the eye, give them an entire sentence or an entire thought, and look, you and I, you can feel it. You can feel that connection. So I did an experiment. I was standing on a stage, like 1,000 people, whatever it was, and I was just doing Q&A, and somebody was asking about speaking, and I was telling them about eye contact and giving an entire sentence and an entire thought to one person. And I picked just a random person in the audience, and I looked at them and said, okay, I'm going to keep talking to you. I'm going to look you in the eye. I'm going to keep talking to you until you feel a connection. And all I want you to do is I will keep looking at you and talking to you, and I want you to raise your hand when you feel some sort of, connection. And about 8 people around that person all raised their hand. Mm-hmm. And that's why it works, because I'm actually connecting with everybody, even though I'm only actually looking at a few. Mm-hmm. So eye contact, as opposed to scanning and panning. Like talk to a person. Talk to a person. And the same in a meeting. Talk to a person. Make it feel like you're talking to them. Most of us are very bad at that.